Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon and I am here with Squid King.
Hey.
Yeah, he's going to do a news video because he found this news and he found this news hilarious.
I did a journalism.
He did a journalism, everybody. All right, very proud. I'm very proud.
Aw, thanks, Dad.
So here we go. This is coming from Hard Drive Magazine, which is a parody site.
It's like The Onion, but for video games.
And they're making fun of IGN because who isn't making fun of IGN? And Twitter is very salty because when aren't they? And we're going to talk about this and the utter state of gaming journalism again. But before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 91,000?
Wow, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
That's like a small city's worth of people.
We are a small city, yes. We're a tiny town here at Clownfish. All right, so Hard Drive Mag, you sent this over. They brought up an old article. Oh, this is from like 3 years ago. And it was a response to, I believe, IGN being accused of plagiarism. Again, I have to add that again.
Yes, again.
Happened multiple times. And, they were poking fun at IGN. They brought it up now, probably because IGN is in the middle of an editorial dispute. They decided they were going to get very political and their bosses didn't appreciate it. Now they're fighting with their owners and it's complicated, but it's another day at IGN.
Now, I would just like to point out that, like, journalism 101 here, right? You are, like, allowed to write whatever you want. But at the end of the day, if you're writing for a publication, because everything published represents that publication, if they feel like it doesn't necessarily represent what they want to talk about, they're within their rights to just take it down.
Yeah, if they're paying the bills, right? They're paying the bills. They can take it down. So we're going to read this article, then we're going to get into these responses on Twitter.
Which, that's just the real
that's
star of the show.
Amazing responses. So this is a 3-year-old article from hard-drive.net. Again, parody, clearly parody.
Very much satire.
But Journos don't find it funny.
No.
IGN writer excited to start playing game he just finished reviewing. San Francisco. IGN writer Austin Rivera expressed his, probably not a real writer by the way.
Probably not.
Expressed his excitement this week to begin playing his advanced copy of Call of Duty Black Ops 4, a game which he just finished reviewing for the prestigious video game website. With most games, I usually just copy and paste my full review from Boomstick's YouTube page, which is the guy they stole from before, and tweak a few words, said Rivera while waiting for Call of Duty's Day 1 patch to download. But Black Ops is one of the biggest games of the year, so my editors really wanted me to take my time with this one. I just can't wait to see if any of the stuff I wrote is true. Rivera, who has worked at IGN for the past 5 years, said that this unorthodox review style is fairly standard for the gaming site, noting that deadlines and time constraints often keep reviewers from fully enjoying or even playing a game at all.
What's up with the Skeletor laugh?
That is the I know this is true. I know this is true laugh. Honestly, it's rough trying to fit all these games into my schedule. Usually, I'll just praise a game as a bold step forward for the franchise, nitpick a few technical issues, slap an 8.5, and then ship that bad boy out. Cha-ching, get paid. When asked whether this method made him enjoy his job less, Rivera's demeanor changed dramatically as he considered his answer. I guess I never really thought about it before. I'm really just glossing over someone else's hard work, giving it an arbitrary score, and shouting out into the void where other lost souls will gloss over my writing to get to the score and forget about it entirely a few minutes later, Rivera said somberly while staring at the load screen. I could probably write anything I want in there because nobody is really going to read it. I basically have a bachelor's degree in garbage. Oh my God, I think I've made a huge mistake. As the game finished loading, Rivera wiped the tears from his eyes and perked up considerably, shouting, "But hey, I hear the Battle Royale mode is cool as hell." Yes.
Yeah.
So this was, again, roasting IGN for stealing content, which they have done. They've done before. Boomstick Gaming. Yeah, they fired this guy. But this has happened multiple times. So Journos are salty.
Oh, very salty. I've never seen this much salt in one comment section, which is honestly saying a lot for Twitter.
I was going to say, you don't spend much time on Twitter these days.
I don't. I spend no time because I like having my brain in one piece.
27.5 thousand likes.
Oh, mamma mia.
Here we have Pimp Master Broda. I know this guy.
I know you know this guy.
As someone who works in healthcare and often around the deceased or soon to be dying, F these game journalists responding to this post that want to play victim over PG-rated humor. Your jobs aren't remotely difficult, and YouTubers often perform them better. And that's why they steal.
Yes,
from
because
YouTubers.
why not just take the better work?
Okay, Janet Garcia, formerly at IGN.
Yep. So, you know her take's going to be real good.
This ain't it. At the time, it was a very specific dig, but bringing this out in 2021 just perpetuates a harmful view of critics. And with all the stuff going on at IGN, it feels especially inappropriate. No.
Oh, honey, just say you can't do your job and move on.
This is exactly why they're bringing it up now. This is exactly why they're bringing it up now, to show how unnecessary many games journalists actually are.
Like, before they were kind of like a big deal, like when magazines were still a thing and people touched paper. But now that the internet exists and anyone can start a YouTube channel, it's kind of null and void.
Zachary Ryan, blue check, director of editorial video at IGN.
Oh, I wonder what his opinion's going to be.
I realize this is likely just standard weekend re-promo, but the timing is bad and the message is worse. I'm typically a fan of your IGN goofs, but please consider taking this down. This is hurtful to a lot of hardworking folks.
Like me.
It's always good timing to shit on IGN. They should have to present the trophy achievement on their account that shows they beat the game to their editors before submitting a review.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, we know they don't finish games. I will state my opinion as fact without any consideration that I might be heavily biased. Yes, everybody.
You know, that trophy achievement thing might only work if they can get past the tutorial.
Ooh. Now, look, to be fair, there are some decent games journalists out there. It's just most of them don't work at IGN.
I said that earlier. I said that to Geeky Sparkles. I'm like, I'm sure there's lots of very good, hard-working professional games journalists. Unfortunately, none of them have blue checks and work with corporations.
Just kicking it. Imagine getting a dream job and them complaining about it. I'd like to see how much they complain after doing actual labor. They act like typing on a computer is hard. They had nothing of value. Gamers say they're the most oppressed group as a joke. Gaming journalists genuinely believe that about themselves.
They really do.
And, you know, like Geeky was saying too, what they'll do then is they'll start throwing around Gamergate.
Yep.
Like, oh my God, you're criticizing us? You Gamergaters.
Yeah, let's do like a little bit of like a therapy-esque role play here. Ready? Okay. So I'm going to be taking the role of both IGN game journalist used very lately, and indie developer, right? Indie developer walks in, he's like, hey IGN, so I saw that in the review you published of my game, you said the clown boss was just too hard and game breaking, except my game doesn't have a clown boss in it at all. What's up with that? Can you change your review, please? And then we switch back to IGN, who's looking at them distraught for covering their ears and screaming Gamergate over and over until security comes and removes them from the premises.
They called me a clown.
There's no greater insult. We're well accustomed.
Oh, here, look. Special Agent Jackson. Game Journos writing a review after playing a game on the easiest difficulty and not being able to beat the tutorial.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe not the most tactful time to make a joke about reviewers don't play games when they're busy being silenced over the Palestinian genocide. Well, yeah, you know, they're talking politics on a site that's supposed to be about video games, and their owners, again, this is just my personal opinion, their owners are like, hey, yeah, let's stick to games.
Well, I think there's a time and a place for every conversation, and I really think the time and place to talk about Palestinian genocide isn't right next to a Mario article, but that's just my 2 cents.
Probably not.
Mamma mia, Mario slipping his way into Florida. Also, there's a religious war happening. It just doesn't work.
So here we have another game dev business handbook founder and biz analyst F squared co-host virtual econ cast.
Oh, those words don't exist.
Blue check. Nope. You're funny a lot of times. This isn't one of those times. Besides harassment of journalists.
Thank you, Comedy Police, for telling us what's funny. I salute you, not really.
IGN's team stood up for human rights against their own management. They don't deserve this ever, but especially now. The guy you're thinking of, by the way, is Philip Musin, who I believe got fired. He got fired? Yeah, he got fired. Anyway, Nerdrotic. This Memorial Day should be dedicated to the brave journalists of IGN who stood up for human rights by sitting on their ass and fucking off on Twitter.
You're not wrong.
I said a bad.
Oh, you said a bad word.
Niche Gamer. Also gaming journalist, just not a blue-checked one. Whole lot of salty game journos in the replies. Sucks they didn't get that New York Times gig like they pined and longed for. Yeah, there's a time and a place for political hot takes. It is on another website. New York Times, CNN, Politico, take your pick.
Literally just any, politics-based news site and not one where you talk about which Fortnite skin has the biggest dump truck.
Yikes, fam. This ain't it, bestie. Yikes, more yikes.
Can I read this one?
Go for it.
Yikes, fam. This ain't it, bestie. Yikes. More yikes. I am a games journalist who is not fragile and very high IQ, and I have done a really, really, really good job of writing about games, and I didn't read the piece, but the title alone makes me cry in a corner. You swung and missed, bestie. Yikes.
Community manager for EA Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Oh.
BioWare. Punching down isn't funny. I agree. Could you imagine a world without game journalists?
Oh man, punching down to the multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Punching down to IGN.
Christina with the good takes.
Christina, how dare the Checks Notes comedy video game website Punch Down to rechecks notes, one of the largest gaming news site outlets in the world. Yes, so large that they have an Israel division of IGN, and that is where some of the problems began when they sided with Palestine. Oopsie doopsie. Was that supposed to be funny or clever?
Both.
Shitting on the cabal of... I said the bad word. I'm sorry.
YouTube's not going to like that.
Pooping on the cabal of individuals who have unchecked, unaccountable power over the Western games industry isn't punching down genius. I agree. Could you imagine a world without gaming journalists? I respectfully disagree. In fact, I feel the journos expressing being ass blasted in the comments make it even funnier. Gaming journos lost street cred a long time ago. I need to show you my stash of magazines in the garage. Don't let your mother find out.
Oh my God, you went there.
All of my EGMs.
Oh.
In my GameSpot magazines, I've got a stash of them in the garage. That is real gaming journalism. That is back in the day when people who played games wrote about the games they played.
There's no way. You don't play games to write about them.
They did.
You look at screenshots.
They did. And you would be hard-pressed to find any commentary anywhere in those magazines about any political issues going on back then. It was all games.
You're telling me they just talked about Mario?
They talked about Mario. They talked about obscure Japanese games, which I freaking loved.
But they never once talked about how Mario's problematic?
No.
Well, then that's not an article for me. See, I have to make sure that everything I take in and ingest is harmful to me because I hate myself. That's Twitter.
That is Twitter. Punching down by dunking on one of the largest and least competent websites, which recently engaged in targeted political suppression. They may have changed things, but last time I checked, 8 million was a lot bigger than 169,000. Yes, you're punching down on IGN.
The most oppressed people on the planet.
Punching down isn't a genuine concept, and journalists aren't a protected class. Actually, journalists make sure they are a protected class. They get their blue checks.
That makes them disabled.
They are in some ways, I believe. And this is coming from a former journalist. You will vouch for me. I worked as a journalist for a number of years.
Yes.
For real publications, not video game news sites. Sorry. Let's see.
But he's not a journalist.
Community manager for EA Star Wars BioWare.
He's not a journalist.
So
that's totally cool. He's totally not a journalist whatsoever. Except he was, because I read these before. He did used to work for IGN.
Everybody worked for IGN. I think IGN, you know what I think's probably going to happen? And I talked to your mom about this. I think at some point the company that owns IGN, which is I think J2 Global, is going to get really tired of the drama and be like, hey, who wants a game site cheap? ish. We're gonna get rid of it. I mean, they sold GameSpot. And
Oh God, Disney buys IGN.
Oh my God.
They put it right next to their. Well, they can't do their ESPN anymore, but
They'll roll esports into.
that's exactly what they're gonna do. Yep.
This is the world's smallest violin. We don't contribute anything whatsoever to society's productiveness.
You really don't.
And this is how we're gonna end it, I think, right?
Sure, with the BioShock Infinite reference.
They didn't get that joke.
No.
They didn't.
No, they would have to have actually played the game to get that joke.
What is this? A Disney World queue? What is this? Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.